Just because somebody's willing to pay you attention does not mean they actually love you. That's a painful truth, but it's a necessary one to understand. You will have people in your life that you call family, that you call best friends, day ones, etc. And they may very well have right intentions for you. But here's the thing. Like I always use this analogy for myself. Would you rather have a glass of water at a time of thirst? Would you rather have a glass of water given to you by your enemy, or would you rather have a glass of poison given to you by your best friend? And for me, it's an obvious answer. I will take the glass of water from my enemy all day long because essentially that's what's going to fix my problem while the other is going to create more problems. But yet many of us go through life having these so-called friends around us, these so-called kinfolk, or some people it's the person you're laying with every night who is your enemy. And I'm not saying that they have this malicious external intention, that they're just sociopaths or psychopaths or genuine narcissists, classified clinical narcissists. What I'm saying is any person who's egging you on into negative behavioral patterns is an enemy. Any person who is willing to pull you away from the positive habits that you're looking to build and develop in your life, that's an enemy. At the beginning of the year, I put out a message saying that one of the most powerful approaches to creating New Year's resolutions is actually the anti-resolution. What bad habits do you want to remove from your life? So if you look at it from that context, because oftentimes it's not what we're doing or doing more things that's going to change our lives. More often than not, it's the things that are in the way. So it's like, okay, I'm eating things I'm not supposed to be eating, right? I have activities that I'm supposed to cut out. I have certain relationship dynamics that are no good for me. Once I remove those, it creates that free space. And the things that I'm doing, activities that are positive, are going to compound and multiply instead of being neutralized or being offset completely. Offset. So we found ourselves in a relationship with people that we believe are our friends because they spend time, they invest energy and attention into us, when in truth, these may very well be the people who are stripping away from the very thing. So example I oftentimes use is one of weight. If you're around a whole lot of bigger folks, most of the people you surround yourself with are obese, and so are you, and you make a decision to finally get into the healthiest body that you have ever been in, right? You want to get in the best physical shape possible. You may very well find yourself that your big friends, your fat friends, are going to start to take away from that goal. They may see that as a threat to them. Or maybe they're not even big, but they just don't want the competition, which is a lot more toxic, and we can get into that as well. But they may subconsciously be looking for ways to sabotage you changing because they don't want to lose the version of you that currently exists. Simple. So you start to decline, going out to certain places, or you say, you know what, I'm going to eat before it because I don't want to eat whatever it is that's at that restaurant. Maybe, you meal prepping now, you're doing different things. They want to go out at 10 and end the night at 3. And you say, well, actually, I want to hit the gym in the morning. I want to go to sleep earlier because I understand that my hormones have to be balanced out. So you get yourself to a place where you want to change your habits. You want to change your daily routine. And these very same people might be looking at you sideways. They might push you a little more. They might shame you a little more into doing the things that essentially reflect who you used to be. Again, this comes from a personal internal state within them. It's not necessarily that they're looking to impose this on you, but they feel uncomfortable. They feel insecure seeing you change. And God forbid you actually start to change, then you're either going to feel a stronger pull, or they're going to push away from you and distance themselves. And we have to recognize this. The earlier we recognize it, the better, because we can nip it in the butt, or in the bud, as it is. I used to think it was nip it in the butt, but it's nip it in the bud as early as we can. So we can have these hard conversations before they, get out of hand and we become resentful towards these individuals, if they are somebody who matters that much to you. But in some cases, you'll have to literally distance yourself from that person or these types of individuals, because again, they are feeding you poison. They're the type of people who, if they see you getting into a relationship dynamic that is healthy, that is functional, that is stable, and they do not have that, and so it triggers something within them, they will find ways to make sure that you're right back where they are. How dangerous is that? The fact that you may miss your opportunity of building that family that you always wanted, having that husband or having that wife, having them kids, raising up this beautiful family and having that experience in your life, you may very well lose that because of the quote unquote advice, because oftentimes it's nothing more than just a vice instead of advice. It's adding nothing but a vice, bars. These people will speak into your life. They will pull you from the thing that is actually going to be best for you. And they will even question those aspects. So maybe you in the dating phase and they might bring us something like, well, I mean, do you want to just throw your life away? I mean, you're so young. Are you already thinking marriage? Like, oh, well, you need to go out here and have some fun. You think to yourself, maybe they want me to just enjoy myself, enjoy my youth. No. That is a sabotage mechanism. They may think that they want you just to have some fun, but unconsciously it is a sabotage mechanism because they're doing the same thing and they're miserable. They're doing the same thing and they're using as a coping mechanism for the thing that they really want and their belief that they cannot have that. They're dealing with internal things such as, low self-esteem, lack of belief in themselves, etc. Not believing they can have the thing. And so they're just going to pretend they don't want the thing. The ones that I don't need a man. I don't want no wife. You're okay being for the streets, but you're really not. Those types of individuals are not your friends. I'm telling you right now, it's a hard lesson to learn, but it's a necessary one because you'll go through life thinking to yourself, damn, I'm around these people who I feel like they care about me. They love me, but why does it feel like I'm always in the same position? I'm always stuck. And of course, it's personal accountability first before anything else. You can't blame somebody for where you are, right? But the influences are real. The social influence is everything. That's our environment. They say we're products of our environment. It's not just your physical aesthetic. It's mostly the people within those spaces. How do they function? How do they move through life? If you are surrounded by individuals who are out of weight, who ain't got nothing going on in their life, who are in unhealthy, dysfunctional relationships, the odds are you're either going to become that or you will stay in a place that is almost like a stagnancy, which for me is almost worse than things getting worse. I know that sounds crazy, but for me, it's like to be stagnant feels much more frustrating because if I'm going regressing, then I at least can look at what is it that I'm doing that is leading to, it becomes much easier to pinpoint the problems. I obviously know because I'm smoking weed. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm partying too much. I'm going out too late. I'm whatever. So I can see that's adding to, me going backwards on my goals. But when it's just this, it's like tug and pull. It almost seems like, damn, is God against me? You know what I mean? Like, does God not want me to have this? No. Okay. I believe that God wants you to have all that is here for you to have, but you can't unlock any of that if you continue to listen to people who are not going in that direction. And I'm not saying you got to cut all these people off, but in some cases you do because you weren't supposed to be in a relationship with these individuals to begin with. You got into these relationships out of desperation. You got into these friendships out of, loneliness and just wanting somebody around or off of trauma bonding, off of negative aspects as opposed to what you actually connected on in a deeper spiritual sense that you really wanted to grow with these individuals. Maybe it was easy to be around them because they don't call you on your BS. Maybe they don't keep you accountable, so it was easier to be around these individuals. But I promise you, these people are not your friends. They're not your people. They might look just like you. They might share the same bloodline as you, but they're not your people if they're not edifying your life. Again, a friend who comes with a glass of poison is still giving you poison. Their intention might be, I just want you to be quenched, but you're still going to get poisoned. You see?
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a hardening heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. fell in love with the night. I can see the light